In this project, we will see how we can parse JSON data in Android. So I've taken a sample JSON endpoint here called dummyjson.com/products. So we have a lot of products inside this. What I'm interested in is basically parsing the title, the description, and the category of the product, and also we'll do the price of the product. So if we see the ID that we have is in the form of integer, title is in the form of string, and then category is also in the form of string, and then price is in the form of a float variable. So let's first copy this URL and then go back to our project. It's an empty activity project. I don't have anything in the UI yet, but uh, I'll just place something here. So let me define a URL where I'm going to copy the link of the API endpoint that I'm interested in. First of all, we go to our UI file called activity_main, and inside this, what I'm interested is in keeping a recycler view. So I can just have one single component called recycler view. I'll use width for match parent, height is also match parent, and I'll provide an ID. Let's call this RV. Okay. So I also need another UI here for our custom view. So let's write this adapter custom. Let me keep this as a linear layout again. So since I'm going to show 4 different data: ID, title, uh, description, category, and price. So basically 5 different data. So I need 5 text view here. So the first one is going to be uh, for ID, for showing the ID from the data. So ID, let's just keep it to that. I'm just going to copy this, create some more here. ID, title, then description, and then finally maybe a category too, category, and then a price. Okay, so 5 different text view within this layout. We go back to our activity class here and then define a recycler view. Let's call this RV. We'll initialize this RV object. This RV, and then we'll set a layout manager for this RV. We need a context here. You can just pass main activity.this. Okay, now what we need is to parse the data that we require from this particular URL here. We are going to use a library called Volley today. So go to your Gradle script and then select this build.gradle.kts from module app. You have 2 files of same file name here, but I need you to select this second one. Go below and inside the dependencies add an implementation statement. Okay, com dot android dot volley colon 1.2.1, and then if you see any error, okay, I think it should be inside double quotation. So once you're done with this, hit sync now and wait for a while the project downloads the necessary library from this particular statement here. Also, you must be aware that you should be connected to the internet for this to move ahead. So I guess the download is complete. We go back to our activity class and then we create an object of a class request queue you can see that this is from the package com.android.volley that we just imported. So let me write this rq, initialize this. So rq equals to new no, this is going to be rq equals to volley dot new request queue, and then you need a context, so you can always provide this activity context here in activity dot this. Now after this I'm going to initialize an object for string request. Let's call this sr string request. There are a few parameters that we need to pass. The first parameter you see here is the url, which we have already defined. No, the first parameter that we need is a method, so we do request dot method dot get. I think we need to import this request variable first. So what I can do is just hit request. Please select the request from com.android.volley package request.method.get. The second parameter, let me minimize this. The second parameter is going to be url, the string url. The third parameter is going to be our response listener. So new response dot listener, and the fourth parameter, give a comma here, and the fourth parameter is going to be our error listener. So what we're going to do is provide a semicolon at the end of the statement. In case of error listener, generate a toast. Let's say connection not established with the server. Okay, now in case of error, in case of our response, what we're going to do is we're going to pass our JSON data inside the particular function. Now whatever you see in this browser is actually parsed in the form of a string here. So we need to parse our data from this string. So the first thing that we're going to see is the type of bracket that is present here. So as we see, this is a curly brackets, which means there is a JSON object. So we first need to isolate the JSON object part, or address the JSON object part here. Let's call this obj equals to get, sorry, uh, obj equals to new JSON object. Then inside this we provide a string variable response. Now after this, if we go and look at it, we see that there is an array called products. So we're going to address that. JSON array product array equals to obj dot get JSON array. The name is going to be products. Please be careful that the keys you see here and the keys you're placing down below should match. Okay, so as you can see, there are a lot of products inside this. So what I'm interested in is gather all the products. So for that I'm going to run a for loop. Integer I equals to 0. I is less than product array dot length and I plus plus. Now inside this, again if we go back, we've addressed the product array list. Now we again need to address this particular bracket here, which is an object. So I'm going to create a new JSON object. Let's call this prod object. Prod obj equals to product array dot get JSON object. Since we're going to go this index by index, so I'll just point out the index here. Now inside this, I think I have my variables id, title, and everything else. Okay, so now to save many of such variables, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new class here just for my parsing support. So let's call this data model, and I'm going to create such variables which I'm interested in while parsing. So I'll have private integer id, and okay, so just private integer id, and then private string title category, right? A category, and then my description. Also I have private, let's keep it float, price. Now I'm going to generate getter and setter method for these. So just right click on this, generate getter and setter, select all of these parameters and then hit OK. So there are getter and setter methods here. Go back to main activity, create an object of type data model, dm equals to new data model. But before this, while we are reading our object or passing our data, we also need to save it. So I'm going to create an array list of type data model, dm, not dm but adm for now. Just write data equals to new array list, semicolon. Now we're going to start parsing our data. So first of all, we're going to get our id. So dm.getID will be equivalent to, the parameter will be prod object dot get teaser. I think the parameter name is id. We do the same for title, string title, sorry, this should be set id, not get id, and this should be set title. Again, dm dot set description is going to be prod object dot get string description. Again, make sure that you've inserted the correct spellings. Dm dot set price prod object dot get. Okay, so I only have double, right? So maybe I should convert it to double there in case of price. So let's just write price and then go back to data model and to convert this price from float to double. Yeah, and then do this as double. Also have this as double. Okay, so almost all of our problems are gone. After parsing one set of data from the array, or the data that is contained in an index in an array, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this data to my array list and then disclose it. The error that you're seeing here are the exceptions. You might have made some mistakes in the code which the compiler is not sure about, so you need to incorporate this within your try catch statement. Try catch exception e, and here you might make some mistake in case of defining these keys, or maybe mistake in your parsing techniques. So what we're going to say is error while parsing. Okay, we're almost 50% done with our project. Now all of the parsed data are present in this variable or this array list here. So what we are going to do is, after this we're going to set our, or show our data, or show our parsed data in our recycler view. So rv.setAdapter new, let's define a new adapter called custom adapter for now, and pass in our context main activity dot this, and then pass our data here. Alt enter on this, create class, just hit OK, and you get a class and a constructor with two different parameters. One is a context and another is a data model. So what I would like you to do is first of all, go to the top of your class declaration and add custom adapter, which is this particular class name and my view holder, and inner class which we are going to create. Okay, we can just create it right now. So public class my view holder extends recycler view dot view holder. Alt enter. We'll create a constructor here, and it's almost done. We'll again hit alt enter and then implement the methods that we need. So there are two parameters here, context and data, which we will be using later on too. So I'm just going to define some global variable, some global objects, context C, array list, data model, my data equals to array list. Copy these variables, C equals to main activity and my data equals to data. In case of get item count, what I'm going to do is my data dot size. In case of my view holder or on create view holder, I'm going to inflate my layout. So define a view object, view, maybe my view, then layout inflator dot from context dot inflate. We have another layout, r dot layout dot adapter custom, and then provide null as our view group. Create an object of my view holder class that we've made down below. So mv equals to new my view holder, pass my view inside the constructor, and then just return mv from here. Okay, now this particular layout contains 5 different text views. So we go to our inner class declaration, define our text view objects. Text view, one is id, title, price, description, and category. Each of it has an id, so just do item view dot find view by id, r dot id dot id, and just copy them. The second one is title, make it title, copy that. Third one is the description, it description, copy that. Fourth one is the price, make it price, copy that. And the last one is the category, just to category, and we're almost done with this class. Now on the final method my view holder, I'm just going to set my data. I have an index variable here provided to me, and then a my view holder object provided to me. So from that I can just access my text views using holder objects dot holder dot id dot set text. Since this value is our integer value, so I'm going to wrap it string. So string dot value of my data dot get position dot get id. Similarly, let me also do the same for price, my data dot get dot price. Okay, now I'm going to do the same for title, since title is already in string, so I can just pull out my title value using this line dot get title. Similarly, I have one for category, get category, and the last one for my description. Description, get description. Okay, this should be sufficient. I think we have covered all our bases. I think there is a mistake here somewhere. Oh yeah, there is no semicolon here at the end. Yes, so the project is in fact done. One last thing, since the application is going to use the internet to parse the data or to request data from the server, so we are going to define the permission for internet in the manifest, and then I think we can run our application and see if the application works or not. So let's run this. The application is running, but I don't see any data in the screen, so we might have missed something. Let's go back and then see the terminal once again. Lockat of what happened at no adapter attached, skipping layout. So let's revisit our code, what we've done. We might have missed something here. Okay, so once we have defined this, at last what we need to do is we need to add string request to our request queue. So rq.add sr, and just run this again, rerun this again, and we should see our data. Okay, the device, okay, the program is launched and we can see that we have successfully parsed our data from here. Okay, we'll try to make this a bit more aesthetic because uh, the design is not so good. So go back to adapter custom. What I'm going to do is incorporate this inside card view. So I will have a layout height which will be a wrap content, layout width which will be match parent, and I'll have a padding, or first I'll have a margin, let's say of 10 sp, 10 dp. Let's also see the design, how it looks. This will not be closed here. What happened here? So okay, so this will not be closed here, but card view will be closed at the end of our UI. So this is the kind of the view that we are imagining or like looking at here. Let's also add a few things. Let's hit app corner layout or card corner radius. Let's keep this 5 dp. We'll see slightly round edges here. Okay, 10 dp, and just leave it like that for now. We'll take this text size, or I think we can just leave it as it is for now and then rerun the application and see what kind of changes that we get. So let's rerun the application. The app is running. Okay, there is not much of a difference in this particular scenario, so I'd like to add a padding here, let's say of 15 dp, and then try to rerun it and see if we can spot any kind of difference. I can see the format of a card here. If you look closely, you can see some edges being pointed out. I don't think I can zoom this out, but we can see some edges. I think there's a problem in my activity underscore main. If I provide a margin of maybe 10 dp here, I can spot out those edges properly in the recycle view. Yeah, so uh, the content has moved in between, so there is a margin in between, and then we can also see a card kind of view here. In the linear layout, what I can do is keep a margin. Let's edit this more. In the linear layout, let's keep a margin of, let's say, 15 dp. Okay, the content will come a bit in between. Rerun the application and then try to see the changes that we get here. Yeah, so with margin, we can see that our content is quite more visible and better than the earlier version. Uh, I could have made some more changes, but my Android Studio uh, seems to be using my laptop's resources. So I'm going to stop this video for now. You can again make your customizations in this UI, and then make your designs more visible and attractive. The main thing that we wanted to do is complete this JSON parsing part. You can try it on your own. If you have any problem, do write in the comment below. If you like our content, please like, share, and subscribe our channel. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.